Okay, real quick. I want to give the my thing on the health triumvirate, the health technological triumvirate. This is the Parazapper Uzi 3C, and I got my custom paddles for it. I know they both have a red wire. One side is positive, the other side is the ground. And what this thing I've actually been using for years. This, like, I'm a real user. I've been using this for years, 8 hours a day. So you can see the device better. That's it. That's my symbol I put on here. That's a little club I belong to. And it has these different modes that you can go through. This one has the positive offset plus the pedestal offset. And I do sincerely believe, it's not to believe, the pedestal offset is whereby the square wave doesn't go completely to zero. It has about maybe a half a volt or something, or 3/10 of a volt that are positive. Now, our body cells have an electrical charge in them. The reason why the positive offset works is because it works as an electron donor for the body cells, and it's oppositely charged for the microbes. The microbes are charged the opposite way of the body cells. There's actually an electrical battle that goes on in your body. It's not just biological and chemical, it's also electrical. So with your positive offset and the pedestal offset, it never goes to zero. So therefore, it's always working against the microbes and working as an electron donor to the cells of the body. I reviewed what Dr. Holder Clark said. The positive offset will work for anything after a period of time. But when you got it combined with the pedestal offset, where it doesn't go to zero, it goes to maybe, I think it's a quarter volt or 3/10 of a volt. It's just a hair off zero, but that's enough that the 50% of the time where it normally would go to zero, it's still, that 50% of the time that the zapper's on, it's working against the microbes and charging the body cells. Now, it also has a number of frequencies in there. The most commonly used consolidated annotated frequencies, the most commonly used frequencies that are used in the consolidated annotated frequency list. This is a very reliable unit. It's small, compact. It does a great job. I've been using these things, I think, for 6 years now. This one's the one I'm using all the time now. This is the Uzi 3C. I would recommend that you get the Uzi or the My 3. If you can't afford the My 3, get the Uzi, because the pedestal offset, I think, does have another advantage. I know you're going to say, how does he know this? Well, it's just from extensive use. I've noticed that this does give you more energy. I am like the Energizer Bunny. I'm going to tell you. So we're going to go over, this is the first item of the Technological Health Triumvirate, and we'll go over number 2. This is the Spooky 2 scalar unit. And here we got our cats, Goldie and Rocky. Anyway, but what I'm right now I have on here is a concoction of Chinese herbal medicine and also concoction of various essential oils, high quality. What this does, it'll send scalar waves through every cell in your body. So I use this while I'm sleeping. So it sends also the molecular frequency of all these Chinese herbs and also those essential body oils through my body. Now, at the same time I'm sleeping, I'm using the Parazapper Uzi 3. Here's the thing about scalar. They have proven that you do something to cancer cells that are part of your body to kill them. The ones you did not reach will be killed by the cancer cells sending the message to the other cancer cells in your body to die. In other words, if you put a sample of your cancer in a vial like this and you put some chemo in it, and the chemo would kill it probably in 10-15 minutes. If you're between the field between this receiver and the transmitter on the opposite side that looks just like this, you will the cancer cells that died from the chemo in this sample the cells themselves will transmit to the other cancer cells in your body to die. It won't take 10 minutes though, or 15 minutes like the chemo's effectiveness was. It might take 24 to 48 hours. Similarly, it works that way with healthy cells. If you do something good for healthy cells, it transmits it to the other healthy cells. Cancer cells only communicate to cancer cells. Healthy cells only communicate to healthy cells. Enter the Parazapper. The Parazapper, this, and the light is shining on a lot now. You can't see it that well. This Let me shut this off a second. This here, the Parazapper, when I'm using this Parazapper, what I am thinking, the same scalar effect is happening. The one of the disadvantages of this Parazapper is that it doesn't get to every cell in the body. It's like limited. It will get to the entire bloodstream and large parts of the tissue, but it won't reach every area of the body. So if you have a particular disease or something wrong, what you could do is the Parazapper will affect that one portion. And I know the FDA will say you can't say this works on a human body, but it has been proven to work in water. 90% of the body is water. So this is one of the problems you also have where the body gets overloaded with sepsis, disease where it's in the blood. This Parazapper can be highly useful for that, against that. That's where you get overwhelmed and you don't die from exactly the disease that caused the sepsis. And they say it's the end result when you died was from blood infection. But this would actually reach all the blood. So that's one thing. Now, the thing I was thinking was the theory that, it's not a theory. I know it does transmit the death of cancer cells to the other cells it can't reach with this unit, this scalar. I was thinking is that since I'm wearing this and this is hitting all the bloodstream and it's boosting up the healthy cells and destroying the bad microbes, would it not, while you're using this in the scalar field, transmit that information? In other words, the dead cells that are being killed, the microbes that are being killed, would it not transmit to other microbes that this doesn't reach to die? In this way, now the effect won't be instantaneous. That's the thing. When you're using scalar, it might take a couple of days. But then if I'm using this for 8 hours a day, I think it's actually working as a force multiplier. So that's the second part of the health technological triumvirate. It's using scalar combined with molecular transfer of Chinese herbs and essential oils in combination with the Parazapper Uzi 3. This is a great unit. Really is. It's fantastic. Price-wise, it's a few $100s, or $359, I think, plus shipping. I don't remember. And this thing is $1,600 plus $160 for shipping. So this is the thing you actually want to get first. It's the cheapest one going. So, and this thing is rugged and reliable, very much so. The little Parazapper, that's another thing I like about it. Not so much with a lot of other stuff. Now this thing is my HHO unit, and actually I made this. I'll just turn it on briefly, and you can see the switch, the red light comes on. You'll see, there it goes. I don't have it hooked up, so actually the gas that's coming out of that is coming out of this nasal cannula, and it's explosive, so I'll keep it away from anything that can ignite it. But this unit's been working fine with me. Now this is not really the most safe way of doing it, but because I don't have the extra alarms and bells and whistles and stuff, I have to watch carefully the water level, make sure it's working. Be careful with how much electrolyte I have in it, so I don't produce too much electrolyte. Basically, it's the essence of other units that are sold out there for HHO. That costs $2,500 and some are $1,500. But this thing, I can tell you right now, has been working like making me like the Energizer Bunny. Sometimes when I don't even get enough sleep, I can still stay up to about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning for the following next day and just work my butt off. So I haven't had this much energy since, I don't know when. God, ever maybe. So I've been using this quite a bit while I'm online. I'm probably getting about 8 hours of this stuff in a day. This will actually reverse age you. So I'm doing all three of these things. Now the one disadvantage of the HHO is this. The HHO it's like a food for the body. It also has electrically expanded water, which is H2O plasma, and it's a major electron donor to the body. Now that gives you energy in the body, but the thing is, what it's also giving you energy in the body could be giving some energy to the microbes. See, that's one thing, because if it gives you energy to the body, that's great. If your body system builds up and the immune system builds up due to energy transfer from this HHO and electrically expanded water plasma, great. Now, the thing is, if you have some problem or something like that and you're using this, it might actually feed the problem. because it's giving energy across the board to everything. So thus, when I combine using this with the Parazapper, which basically has the capability of knocking out every microbe it comes in contact with, also in combination with the Spooky Scalar, with the molecular transfer of Chinese herbs and essential oils, and in combination of using the Parazapper at the same time as the Spooky Scalar. So in other words, the Parazapper knocks out a microbe, the Scalar would tell the microbe that got knocked out, the microbe would actually transfer that information to knock out another microbe over a period of time. So, but then I'm using this though, so when you're using these all three together, it's like a super synergistic amount of power for your body. This might be the cheapest Ponce de Leon Fountain of Youth things going. I've just started actually using all three of them together extensively, and I think I'm onto something. Probably, I've been working like crazy on different things, and it's like non-stop, but I seem to have the energy of about 3 people. So anyway, I just want to pass this on. People won't believe it. You don't want to believe it? I don't care. Don't believe it. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not getting paid on YouTube. I'm not monetized. If you want, you can go over to BitChute. I got a channel up there called Synergy7. It's SYY Energy 7. There's a PayPal button there. I'm not putting any kind of PayPal or Patreon or anything like that on YouTube because until they start opening up and being free and open like they used to be back some years ago. So anyway, but I'm giving you accurate information. Whatever I tell you to do, I'm doing or whatever I say I think works really, really good. It's my personal testimony. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm not telling you to buy nothing. This is what I'm doing, okay? If you don't want to do it, fine. I don't care. I mean, really, what am I trying to do? I think some of these technologies have been around a long time. And look at about the Lukowski coil, using the Tesla coils that was developed. What happened with that? Problem is, this is the problem. And I'll tell you right now. You get gatekeepers and disinformation artists. Neither one of them, which I'm not neither one of them. What happens is these people will get in there and somebody will follow up what I said and then throw in a curve and tell me what I was wrong with it. And then just to dissuade you. You know what? I'm doing this, fine. The one thing is, if this works, this is probably dangerous for me to even say this because these three things together, the health technological triumvirate, could really take out all the money out of the pocketbooks of most of the doctors, pharmaceutical industry, and everything else. And also, I think it would greatly extend life and rejuvenate people and make them extremely more productive during a lifetime. And the one thing I talked about before is like people that are very smart and productive. I'm not talking about people that sit back and on a lounge chair and go to play golf or something like that. If those people live 8 million years, they would never do anything for anybody because they're all about me and relaxing and, you don't want to get stressed out. Me, I'm like here to freaking get shit done and get the truth out. So, but there's a lot of other people like that, and to extend their life and give them more energy and productive capabilities through just being more healthy and alert and bright and all that kind of stuff, that's what you want to do, I know there's going to be a problem with, if this works, there's going to be a lot of people that are just narcissistic, hooray for me, look at me, I look so young, let's do this. And that's why these things really probably go to the wayside, because that's where the disinformation agents can get in there and they tempt those kind of people. I'm going straight to the heart of the truth. This is the health technological triumvirate, and it works very, very well, very, very cost effective. This thing, if you buy it real, like the real one, this works the same, but you got to be careful with it, very careful with it. It's $2,500. Probably better off paying for that one. I don't want to spend $2,500. And I'd rather do something else with that kind of money, or just not spend the money. But the Spooky 2 scalar unit, $1,600 plus 160 shipping. That thing, I don't know if you can make one like that cheaper. And the Parazapper, I think that's $359. You can get a cheaper one, versions of it, but I would recommend you at least go with the Uzi 3C, because it has that pedestal offset. But when you like I said, when you combine all this stuff, it's amazing. Very, 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 very powerful. Okay, over now.